Hey YouTube, I'm back once again, and this is going to be part 2 of my network collection. There's been the Blu-rays in my collection, all from the company that's sadly no longer trading, known as Network, that put out mostly, if not predominantly, if not exclusively, I don't think it was entirely exclusively, but mostly British TV shows and movies, mostly TV shows. Yeah, and they had some really good stuff, which a lot of which has skyrocketed in value since they went bankrupt. I'm assuming that's what happened to them, and I don't know for certain what happened to them. Well, maybe they just decided to close. Anyway, let's have a look through the Blu-rays in this collection. So, firstly, we have the Avengers, the Cybernauts trilogy. So this contains 3 episodes from the series The Avengers and the New Avengers from the 60s and 70s. It's a single disc. This was the limited edition that comes with a booklet, quite a substantial booklet. It took some hunting down. I did have the standard edition of this at one point, which oddly enough, when you go to CEX, this version is cheaper than the standard edition is, for whatever reason. Next, a bit of an anthology series from where I remember, Hammer House of Horror. I used to watch this back in the early 80s, or some episodes of it at least. As a kid, I used to always go to my grandma's on a Friday night, and often this or something similar to this was on TV. It used to scare the bejesus out of me. But I picked this up, I believe, in cash converters. It wasn't cheap, but compared to what it was selling for at the time in CEX, it was cheap. And it has this sort of velvety feeling slipcover, which is always nice. Next up, a set of 3 Retroaction. This is volume 1. Just has single episodes from many British TV, sci-fi-esque, or not just sci-fi, but sort of crime, I guess some of them are, TV shows. So on this one we've got Department S, The Champions, Randall and Hopkirk Deceased, love that show, The Persuaders, and Strange Report. So just a single, I don't know if the pilot episodes or whether they're just random episodes from each show. Then Retroaction Volume 2, and we have Danger Man, Gideon's Way, The Saint, again another show that I really enjoyed, Man in a Suitcase, and The Prisoner. Yeah. And then finally Volume 3, which has the Zoo Gang, Danger Man, a new version of The Saint with Ian Ogilvy. That one on there was Roger Moore. The Baron, The Invisible Man. Really quite enjoyed The Invisible Man as well. I don't know if it was that version of The Invisible Man, but I do remember a version of The Invisible Man that I watched as a kid that I enjoyed. Shirley's World and The Adventures of Robin Hood. Yeah. Now these 3 are all available together in a box set, but I have them all individually. I think I'd already got 2 of them when I found that there was a box set available. It might save a bit of space, but I'm happy with those. These extremely oversized sets are the Professionals. So this is Mark 1, which is, I guess, Series 1. Again, another show that I really loved growing up. But there's so extensive. The books that are in these, and the next one's even more so. I only have 2 of the 4. I come across these seldomly in CEX, and they're always battered, but there are also standard releases of these, just in Amaray cases, and I'm assuming they must have the same barcodes on the back, because CEX don't distinguish between this special edition and the standard edition. So when it's on their website, it could be either one or the other. So you actually really need to go to the store and check them out. But because of these are card and they're oversized, they don't fit very well on their shelves, and they always get battered on the top and bottom edges of these boxes, and quite often I've seen them badly torn as well. And then I have, still sealed, because there's no point in unsealing it until I've got through Series 2 and 3, which I don't have yet. Mark 4, which again will be Series 4, and you've got an even bigger booklet in this. They're in a digipack. I believe they're 4 discs. That one's 4 discs, so I'm assuming this one's going to be as well. But yeah, really hoping I can get hold of the Series 2 and 3 at some point. Like I say, I've seen them occasionally. I do see them on eBay as well, but eBay prices a little bit higher than I would probably want to spend on these. Unless I can find them sealed, then maybe I'll pay a little bit more. Space 1999. I occasionally watched this show as a kid, but I wasn't religiously into it. I was always more of a Star Trek fan. But this again is another limited edition. I don't know if they ever reissue this as a standard edition or not, but I think it's just a couple of episodes. Yeah, it's a special edition of. I'm assuming must be maybe a 2-parter. I haven't really looked into that. I've not watched it since I got it. I got it in CEX last year. This one's in a slip box, whereas the other one's just, there's no slip on it at all. That's how it came. Finally, for the TV shows, I have this Sweeney box set. Now, I mentioned in the previous video, and I've mentioned before, I'm missing something from this collection, and I can't find it anywhere. I've searched this house top to bottom. I thought maybe I'd lent it, because I lent this to my brother, and I thought maybe I'd lent him that as well, but he says that I didn't, and I'm inclined to believe him. So I don't know where it went. This sells for absolutely stupid money now, or at least it's up for sale on eBay at really stupid money. I don't know if it sells for that or not. When I got this, now I checked on the app on my phone. I got this copy in 2013, 12 or 13, for £2 allegedly. I don't remember paying £2 for it, but it fits because it was probably about a year after it came out. So it maybe at its lowest price at the time. When I got it, all I got was that. At the time, I didn't know that it was a limited edition release, that it came with all of this. So when I bought it in CEX, that's all I got. Like I say, I don't remember. I honestly don't remember what I paid for it, but the app on my phone says £2. Generally, when I buy something and I scan it into the app, I always put what I paid for it. There's an option, you can put the date you bought it. Oh, we're still rolling. Right. Bit of an accident there. Where was I? Yeah, so when you scan, or when I scan what I bought into the app, I get the option to put in the date that it was purchased and the price. and for this I have it down as £2. So again, I have no reason to doubt that that's incorrect. So I think, I'm fairly sure I paid £2 for that. I've seen them on eBay, people asking £150. Whether anyone will ever pay that or not, I do know that CEX sell this for about £100. That's ridiculous. I did eventually track this down on eBay, and just that alone, the box and the book cost me 15 quid, way more than I paid for that. It's actually, I've had this a few years as well, and I guess at the time, this whole thing was still selling for quite a bit of money. I mean, it's been out of print for a long time. Yeah, so this whole thing owes me near enough, well, not even 20 quid, £17. But like I say, CEX sell this now for 100. But yeah, like I just mentioned, there was a companion to this called Regan, which was an episode from a TV show back in the 70s, I believe, called Armchair Theatre, which each episode was just a new one-off drama, and that one-off drama was about Jack Regan, the main character, or one of the main characters in this show. And I guess it was that popular that it became a whole show called The Sweeney. And I did have that. Now that's still relatively cheap in CX. I think it's about £12 at the moment. That's one of the reasons that makes me think I probably didn't trade it in, because that £12 is probably what it has gone up to since Network no longer around. So I don't believe it's been that expensive, because Network was still selling that release up until they stopped trading. So I think on CEX that was probably half that price this time last year, and that's what makes me think I probably didn't trade that into CEX, because it was basically worthless. And I'm certainly certain that I haven't in the last few years traded that in, and it's only recently that I've put all this back up on the shelf. I had it all, my TV shows, that is, in Blu Ray TV shows, in boxes in a cupboard, because I just didn't have anywhere to put them. This whole area up until late last year or mid last year was all my HD DVD collection, which at swap places, that's all gone into boxes now until I can build some more shelvings for that. Because as much as I love my HD DVD collection, it's pretty much just sat on the shelf. I very rarely, if ever, watch anything on that anymore. Whereas these TV shows, whenever I wanted to watch anything, I kind of never bothered, because it was all tucked away, other than stuff that I'd bought fairly recently that was more accessible. But all the stuff that had been on the shelf, that hadn't been on the shelf for a while, that was tucked away in boxes, like I said, was just harder to get to and never really got watched. So I made the decision to strip these shelves of the HD DVDs and put on my Blu-ray TV shows and my 3D Blu-rays, which again, they were all tucked away so they weren't getting watched. Anyway, Blu-ray. Oh no, we're not done. I'm thinking, oh, we're done. We've been going for nearly 15 minutes, and I thought, oh, that's it, we're done. We're not done. There's still that pile there. Right, I'm going to cut here for a moment and clear up a little, and then we'll go on to the movies. Right, back again. This time my Network release movies. There's not a whole load, maybe 10, 12, 15, somewhere in that region. So first up, Capricorn 1. Good little sci-fi movie. I enjoy this one, with James Brolin, I believe. This again is a film I haven't seen for quite a while, but really enjoy that one. Deadlier Than the Male. This is one I've owned previously, and traded in some years ago when it was at a good trading value. I seem to remember getting quite a few network releases in. They did a 40% off sale or 45% off sale for some reason. Was it something to do with Coronation Street? That seems stupid, but I've got a feeling it was something to do with Coronation Street's anniversary, and whatever year anniversary it was, 40 or 45, was the discount they were giving. And I bought a load of movies, and a bunch of them I ended up trading in at CX because the trading value was so good. I did end up getting well, I say a few, maybe one or two of those back, but this was one of them. But I remember enjoying this somewhat. Is this a Matt Helm? I'm not sure if it's a Matt Helm or not. I don't think it is actually. But either way, I really enjoyed it. This goes back to being a teenager. I really like this. I was always into the sword and sorcery movies in the 80s, and Hawk the Slayer was no exception. A lot of fun. I guess fairly unrealistic these days, but this was made in a time before the Titanic had been discovered, and I guess it was a bit of a dream that maybe it could be brought back to the surface. So yeah, Raise the Titanic. It's a decent movie. It's okay. The Likely Lads, based on the sitcom of the 60s and 70s. In this era of sitcoms, and I don't know whether it was ITV or BBC or whether it was both, but I say all, maybe not all, but a lot of the big sitcoms of that time got a theatrical movie. Some got more than one, but this was one of those. The Likely Lads. You have the likes of Steptoe Son. There was it 2 Steptoe Son movies? I believe there was. There was 3 on the Buses movies. Are You Being Served? George and Mildred. I've got another one in front of me right here that I'm not going to say the name of that one because you'll be looking at it in a second. But yeah, there was quite a lot of TV sitcoms. For whatever reason, got theatrically released. I believe there were, anyway, at least theatrically released movies. Yeah, and this was one of them. The Likely Lads. A lot of fun. I enjoyed all of them. Man About the House, once again, another sitcom from I think this one's from the 70s, that ended up getting its own movie, and that was this. Something a little bit more serious, The Medusa Touch. I have seen this many years ago, but I don't remember a single thing about it. It was cheap in a network sale. As you can see, it's still sealed. I haven't watched it yet. The Sweeney movie, again, not a sitcom so much, but still a TV show that got its own movie back in the 70s. Well deserved, I think. It was a great show. It is a great show. Yeah, and it even got a sequel. In fact, is that the sequel? No, this is the sequel. Sweeney, it says there, 2. Sweeney 2. Was this one as good? I don't know. I can't remember now. I enjoy both of them, to be fair. Great little hijack movie. I say little. Great hijack movie with Sean Connery. Really enjoy this one. Ransom. To Die For with Nicole Kidman. I owned this many years ago as a VCD, back when I had my CDI. And I want to say that's probably the only format I've ever seen that movie, or this movie, on. And I don't remember a single thing about it. It's one of those, but probably when you start watching it, or when I start watching it, I'll think, oh yeah, that happens, and oh yeah, that happens. Another sitcom that got a movie, Till Death Us Do Part. Warren Mitchell, of course, as Alf Garnett. I couldn't for the life of me remember who it was. Yeah, Alf Garnett. Great show. Till Death Us Do Part was the original series was it in the 60s or did it start in the 70s? It might have started in the 60s and ran into the 70s. But yeah, Till Death Us Do Part. Well, honestly, I don't know how many series it ran for, but it was very, very popular. And then there was was it a spin-off or a continuation? It was probably more of a continuation, in Sickness in Health, which was around in the 80s, and that was absolutely hilarious. He was obviously an older gentleman at that point. It was probably a good 10 years or more after the original series, and the actress who played his wife in the original series had passed on by that point, so he was a widower, and a very cranky old man. It was really, really funny. And then finally, another one that I'd sold on, or traded into CX at some point and rebought last year in one of Network sales, Twins of Evil, Hammer Horror release. Yeah, again, I haven't opened this one as yet, but there we go. We have a wonky pile. I need to find my damn tripod. I put it away somewhere because I had the film for so blinking long, and I don't know what I've done with it. There we go. So how many were they? I just guessed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I was right in the ballpark when I said between 12 and 15. Actually, I think I said 10, 12 or 15, didn't I? But I guess I was in the right ballpark. Yeah, so that's my, as far as I can see, as far as I can remember, I can't find any more on the shelf. So that's my Network movie collection, along with my or Blu Ray movie collection, along with my TV collection, which I've put most of them away now, back in wherever I don't remember where I've put them. Well, I know where I've put them on the shelf, but you got the retro ones there, and then the others are back in their homes where they belong. Professionals right up at the top there because they're being oversized. Anyway, yeah, that's my Network Blu Ray collection. So once again, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Ta-ra.